Very happy to be joined by a great friend of the program, Browns Pro Bowl right guard, Wyatt Teller. And Wyatt, how the heck are you, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We're always happy to have you. I got to ask you, this heat has been nuts. Is this like, did you get any of this in college? Is this taking you back to that, or is this new level of heat in Cleveland?
Yeah, I will say, growing up in Northern Virginia, it can get a little warm. I remember days where it was mid-90s, high 90s, low hundreds.
Yeah.
Not as humid as South Carolina
Sure.
or, anywhere in the true deep South. But yeah, no, it was warm. Virginia Tech, you're in the mountains, 85 degrees and gorgeous all the time.
Sounds glorious.
That's how the summer is. And then here, we've had pretty mild summers. This was the first real, I would consider, while I've been here, real winter and real summer, where it is, it gets there. I will say this, you do have to remind yourself, we're not in Tampa, we're not in Miami, we're
Could
not
be worse.
in Houston. There's a lot places that, I don't even know how they practice.
Me neither. And yesterday you guys had the pads on. What was that like?
Yeah.
First day in the pads, on top of the heat, all of it getting out there. And it looked like, compared to what I recall, and tell me if I'm wrong, but typically the first day in pads, I know at the Greenbrier last year, it was kind of just position groups.
Yeah.
And you guys got after it. Multiple 11-on-11 periods. Yeah. The intensity ratcheted up.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed the intensity of this camp. Has been brought up. I think that after a season like we had last year, we gotta create some toughness. I don't think any of the guys in our locker room or any of the guys in our coaching staff are mentally weak, but it just helps you understand you can go a lot further than you think you can. Your body, your mind will fail before your body does.
How's it been for you getting back in the mix, obviously? Kind of maybe a little bit of a return, I would say, to the roots of what you did probably earlier in your career here with the Cleveland Browns. Coach Bloomgren feels like somebody that the offensive line guys are going to like working for a lot. What's kind of that been like for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think that we're getting back to what we're good at. And what's fun, pass pro is not fun. There might be some offensive linemen that think pass protection is fun. I would disagree. I don't think going backwards against a guy who's 300 pounds and probably, I'm just going to be real here, is probably more athletic, probably stronger, but, faster. But at the same time, we get those plays back in the run game where they have to now get hit, double teams, pull, stuff like that. So, it's what we're good at, and we're getting back to it. I appreciate that. I also love Coach Bloomgren. I think he's a great coach.
It feels like to me, and tell me if this is wrong, I'm no expert. Joe Thomas has taught me a great deal about offensive line play, but far from an expert. It seems like this year when you guys are pulling, you're kind of square to the line quicker than I remember you being from a shoulder standpoint. Is that something technique-wise that you guys are working on? Yeah,
I think that a lot of our pulls, skip pull versus, traditional O pull, where your open pull or whatever someone wants to call it, O pull where you're crossing the center. Some people do it skip pull, some people do it O pull. Bill was a big O pull guy. His mindset was, you're not on the field. You're athletic enough to be on the field as one of my offensive linemen. You can rotate your shoulders, but sometimes you'd miss the hole or sometimes it'd hit a little wider. But so the skip pull is just to basically stay square. Put your foot in the ground and get north.
Okay, and yesterday you guys got a lot of work in some of that stuff. What's it been like for you going against some of these young guys? Mason Grant, obviously the 5th pick in the draft. You get pretty familiar with him out there. Malik Collins is in the mix as well now. What's it been like kind of getting to look at that front, which has really been remade in many cases in the middle and is expected to be obviously a strong part of this team? Yeah, no,
I feel like, we had really good D tackles last year. We've had really good D tackles my entire career here. But, this year it feels different. We have some guys that can, what Coach Schwartz wants, they're doing, and they're not easy to block.
When it's a rookie, do you sometimes have to be like, it's training camp, buddy. Let's calm it down a little bit. Dalvin, I bet, got the deal last year.
Yeah, well, there isn't any brother-in-law, but there is sometimes where it's like, hey, if you got me on skates, brother, you don't need to put me in the quarterback's lap so he hits his hand on your helmet.
Sure.
I haven't had to have many conversations with Mason. Mason gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. It's been fun. That's good competition.
He's a rookie, but he's a pro. He gets it.
Yeah, that's good. In the huddle, many different voices, 4 of them so far this year. What's that kind of been like getting to go have Joe Flacco back, you bring in a new guy, Kenny Pickett, and then the 2 rookies, Gabriel and Shador?
Yeah, I mean, more the same. I mean, I've had a couple quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're used to that.
Yeah, so it's nothing new. But no, all jokes aside, we've just got to be able to find consistency, whoever's back there. We're not looking back. we might get the play call, but then we're looking forward. We got to block the front. We have 6, 7, 8 guys to block every play. So, it's nothing we haven't handled.
One of the things they say in training camp, you get sick of going against the same guys. Well, this year the way it's kind of set up is you're not really going to do that. We're going to go next week. You're going to be in Charlotte. The week after that, Philadelphia taking on the Eagles. Do you like those joint practices, and does that give you, some real good kind of sense of where you are?
No, I don't. I wouldn't say I like joint practices, but I understand the reason for them. I like you said, you do get bored going against the same guys. That being said, in 2020, we didn't have any preseason games, nothing. We went out there first week. I went against the same guys for 5 weeks. So you learn how to get better through incremental differences, whatever it is.
Sure.
But no, I do like competing, and I like going against different D tackles and just seeing what different moves they have. How can I perfect the moves against those and make sure that they don't get me during the season when it matters. Not that preseason doesn't matter. It all matters, but it's just slightly different. The only reason I'd say, joint practices aren't fun is because you're going on, they know your snap count by the second day. They're rearing back. If you had a good day that first day,
oh yeah,
it's not going to be fun that second day. But no, we have our work cut out for us. We have a hard schedule. We have good teams we're playing against in the preseason. Super Bowl champs. So we have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That's the last of the 2 joint practices in Philadelphia, defending Super Bowl champs. Darn good defensive front, darn good guys, and big human beings on the interior. That's one that I feel like you guys come out of that, you're going to be like, okay, that's the one that's going to give you a little barometer, but also we're ready to play whoever is thrown at us. Exactly.
Like, they have guys who are fast. They have guys who are big and strong. They have guys who are fast, who are big and strong. So it's going to be, it's a good test of our mettle.
All right. Important questions now. 1, how's the family?
Family is good. Mom's good. Mama's good. Brooksy's good. Gigi's good. They're all good.
How's the golf game?
Golf game is not good. Finished in the high 80s at the end of the year, so I was playing a little bit better. Beginning of the season, started mid to high 90s, and then got it down. But now I take seven months off, so my golf game's going to turn to crap.
It's going to go, but then eventually we'll get you back in that simulator. I do have to ask.
I have 40 years to play golf. I'm not worried.
Exactly. You do. You have a whole life. Longer than that even.
Yeah.
What a
I'll
glorious
focus on
game.
football while I'm playing.
What a glorious game. I'll tell you what. I walked in the sim the other day, and people have worn it out. There is a full-on groove in the middle of that mat. I like
Which I don't know if that's a good thing. I feel like you shouldn't be hitting beaver tails in an indoor, but hey, whatever,
Right, should be smooth.
It should be smooth, just right on the edge. But no, I feel like that's an awesome little thing that we got. We didn't have a players lounge for 3 years or 4 years since COVID, so it was nice. And then our equipment room grew. There's just as an organization, we've had our building for so many years that you just got to kind of create a way to do it. So it was nice that they built this beautiful indoor indoor weight room that we have a cool little
very cool
cool little players lounge in there.
All right, and then from the summer, what was your favorite thing you did this summer?
Got to go home for the first. Well, so I call Virginia home, call Roanoke, my hometown, but, hometown would technically be Bealton, but where we're going to live forever is Roanoke, and we finally bought a house, got some of it furnished. It was the first time going home and going home, so it was really cool.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. Well, very excited to have you back out here. We're in the mix. Here we go, baby. 2025 Cleveland Browns. Thrilled to have you on the line, obviously, and thrilled to have you on the show today, Wyatt. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nathan.